Okay. Is your air conditioner not working? Do you think that it may possibly be your capacitor, which in a lot of the cases, a lot of the time it is? Well, basically what we have here, I've took the liberty to go ahead and pull this out of the unit over there. Okay, and this is a double capacitor. You'll either have single capacitors that will have two sets of two pods on the top, or you'll have a double capacitor that has 3 pods on the top. One capacitor is for the compressor, and one capacitor is for the condenser fan motor outside, the fan that's on the top. Okay, so if your unit's not cooling and you want to figure out what is going on with it, here is how you check your capacitor. First thing that you want to do is you want to shut the power off at the disconnect there, and you want to either depress the contactor if you know how to do that, or you check it with a volt-ohm meter to make sure that the power is good and off. Then the next thing that I advise for somebody that's not super experienced with it is you draw the top of the capacitor showing the pod connections and showing what wires and what color wires are connected to them. That way you can't forget something or get wires in the wrong spot. This here is a 35 by 5 microfarad capacitor, which means the capacitor is 35 microfarads for the compressor and 5 microfarads of capacitance for the condenser fan motor. Now, after the 35 by 5 or whatever rating size it is, there'll also be another designator that's either 370 or 440 volt capacitor. Most of them are basically around the 370 zone or whatever. 440 means it's a heavier grade capacitor for the size. So if you have one that's a 35 by 5 370, you can replace it with a 35 by 5 370 or a 35 by 5 440. Either one will work. But if you have a 35 by 5 440, which is what this one is, then you want to use a 35 by 5 440 to replace it. Now, the way that I done this is I did not use my regular cap tester, which I don't have here right now anyways. We're moving around the state, so I don't have my tools with me. But I didn't want to use that anyways because I wanted to be able to show you using one you could pick up. This here is a Honeytech A6013-L. And you can get it right off Amazon for $20-some. And it comes with everything that you need to test your capacitor. Okay, so basically you have 3 terminals on the top of the capacitor. You have your ingoing side, which acts as the ingoing side for both sides of the capacitor, and it is called common, and it will usually have more wire connectors on it. One of the way you can tell if it's not clearly marked, the common or the beginning inside usually has, like 4 connection posts, where your hermetic will usually only have 3, and then your fan will usually only have 2. So from common to hermetic is one capacitor going to your compressor, which is, it's marked H, which stands for hermetic because all the compressors are hermetically sealed. So hermetic stands for compressor with that. And then the other one will be common, which is the incoming, to F, which stands for your condenser fan motor. Now, there's usually a variance of, 5 or 6 or whatever tolerance on them. So if they're 5 or 6% above or below, it's not a problem. But what you get is a lot of these new capacitors, especially ones that are made in China, which most of them are nowadays, they are crap. They do not last. If you're smart and you replace your own capacitor, go for an American-made capacitor like an AMRAD, and it will last at least 10 to 1 over a Chinese-made capacitor. This particular one here is not. This is not a American-made capacitor, but actually this capacitor still isn't bad. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our Honeytech A6013L meter and set it on to 200 scale, and then you go from the common post to first we're going to do the 35 microfarad for the compressor. So from common to hermetic, and it's going to tell you that's 35.2 microfarads, which is right where you want it. That means there's no problem there. Now, if you put it on there and it says it's 25 or 15 or anything else, then there's why your compressor's not running. And if your compressor's not running, you have no air conditioning, because it's what pumps the coolant. And a lot of the time, that's the problem. So we have 35.2 microfarads across the capacitor for the compressor, which is the hermetic side. So that is good. Now we're gonna staying on the common post with the black wire, which is the incoming. We're going to drop over to the fan post, which can also be the problem, because if the compressor's running but that fan ain't running, it's kind of like having your car motor running without the fan and the radiator working. It ain't gonna work, you know. So basically across common to fan, we're at 4.9, which is close enough to 5. It's still fine. But so much of the time, what'll happen is you'll hook those on there and it'll read 0. You know, you'll have no capacitance at all, and that's why your condenser fan motor or your compressor ain't running. Now for 20 some, you know, I think this was probably 25 to 28 bucks for the capacitor tester, and it's not like testing it with a voltometer meter or something where the needle just jumps and they say, okay, it's, you know, the needle jumped. You know, it's, you want something. The regular cap tester like this A6013L by Honeytech tells you exactly how many microfarads of capacitance you're getting. So if it's off from what it's supposed to be and it's causing the unit to either not cool, or it's causing the motor in the compressor or the condenser fan motor to overheat, you will see if you're getting what you need to have it work. And then having your drawing and everything, like I said, it shows exactly what connections you have and exactly what wires of what color, makes it super easy. It makes it super easy to reinstall your capacitor or to reinstall a new capacitor. But like I said, if you use an American-made capacitor like an AMRAD, if you have to replace your capacitor, it'll probably be the last time you ever replace it. If you use a Chinese one, give it about a year and a half, you'll be replacing it again. Well, that's all for today, but I will have regular videos come out that tell you how to save money and how to repair your own stuff if you're out in the country or somewhere and you don't have repair techs nearby. You know, this gives you the ability to look at your own stuff. Make sure you always shut the power off before you look at anything, so that you're doing it safely and don't take any risks. You're better off if you're not smart enough to shut the power off and do things the intelligent way. You're better to have a technician from a company come out and do it. But if you're somebody that understands electrical enough and is smart enough to do things the safe, smart way and shut the power off, double check it's off before you do it, then you know you can save yourself actually quite a bit of money, because what it costs to replace one of these nowadays is pretty astronomical compared to what it costs to do it yourself. But and I'm a licensed contractor. I had my own heating and air conditioning company for 35 years, and I've been in the trade for about just under 50 years. So though I'm retired now, And I'm giving you the inside scoop, especially for you people on fixed incomes, to be able to be a little bit more frugal. So please like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see a lot more good advice from a lifetime licensed contractor that knows all about heating and air conditioning and home maintenance, upkeep, and so forth. Y'all be cool now. Thank you.